This podcast is brought to you by Hims. You've probably heard me talking about Hims for the past, I don't know, maybe 3 years now. They are dead set on helping guys look their best. And if you haven't heard about them, well, let me tell you right now, 66% of men start losing their hair by the age of 35. And once you've noticed that your hair is thinning, it can be too late. If it's going backwards or you see a bald spot, the best thing you can do is prevent that hair loss. Do something about it while you still have some hair. That's what I did, and that's what Tom Segura did not. Let's grab this New Year's by the follicles, people. Here's to years of growth. See, a lot of guys turn to weird solutions or to shave their head, Tommy. A lot of guys turn to weird solutions or do nothing and shave their head, Tommy. When they can turn to medicine and science. For Hims is one-stop shopping for hair loss, skincare, sexual wellness for men. It's time to write a new chapter in your book. This chapter starts with you having hair. Hims has paired themselves with licensed physicians and FDA-approved products to treat hair loss. No snake oil pills or gas station over-the-counter supplements. Prescriptions backed by science. Hims was created by a guy who knew that some men health conversations are easier to have online than in person. That is 100% accurate when it comes to me. I don't want to do the awkward in-person doctor visit or some long line at a pharmacy. Hims connects you with real doctors online, which could save you hours, completely confidential and discreet. Answer a few quick questions. The doctor's going to review it, and if they determine it's right for you, they can prescribe you the medication to treat your hair loss that is shipped directly and discreetly to your door. This holiday season, let it grow, let it grow, let it grow with Hims. Dive into 2020 hair first. Right now, my listeners can get their first month started free. Go to forhims.com/Bertcast. That's forhims.com/Bertcast. You heard me right. My listeners can get started with their first month for free by going to forhims.com/Bertcast. forhims.com/Bertcast. Prescription requires an online consultation with a physician who will determine if the prescription is appropriate. Offer valid only if prescribed. 3-month minimum subscription. Additional restrictions apply. See the website for full details and important safety information. Remember, that's forhims.com/Bertcast. This podcast is also brought to you by Mercari. If you're like me, you've got stuff, lots and lots of stuff you don't need and you no longer use. Maybe you never use. Stuff that doesn't spark joy in your life. Now that the New Year's is here, it's time to finally deal with all that stuff. And I'm not talking about hiding into the closet or getting a storage unit down the street. I'm talking about selling it on Mercari. You know Mercari, the selling app that makes selling almost anything fast and easy. So here's where you begin. You go through your home and you find all that stuff you didn't use in 2019. If you did not touch it for one full year, you don't need it. Phone in the drawer. Jeans you only wore once. Handbag hiding in the back of your closet. Listing it takes just minutes. You take a few quick pics, add a description, and boom, your item is connected with millions of buyers on the app. Mercari will even email you a shipping label when it sells. Everything ships, so there's no awkward meetup with strangers, which is great. You know, it can get dark at night. People are a little weird. The app has over 500,000 reviews on the App Store with an average review of 4.8 star rating, so why not give it a try? Ring in the new year with less stuff in your home and more money in your pocket with Mercari. That's Mercari, Mercari, the selling app.
Wow, that's I always feel weird about all the death posting. Like there was a picture in the New York Times of everyone at the memorial that just sprouted out up that morning, you know, at the Staples Center. And the picture was of all, you know, the flowers and stuff. And half of the people in the shot were taking selfies and posting.
Yeah.
I'm like, so death is about content now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, it's so crazy. I watched, I think it's the older I get, I try not to be critical of people because I probably would behave the same as they would in any situation. But I was on the treadmill watching. I was going to watch the PGA Tour, and they didn't even show the PGA Tour or the Torrey Pines yesterday. They just showed coverage.
Oh, right.
And they it seems archaic to me that they would have a news reporter on the scene interviewing people.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, and this is why I don't want to be critical, but like people who found out he died and then got in their car and drove to go see it smoldering.
I know.
And it's like, it just seems like something I definitely wouldn't do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe if I was already driving that direction, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
But what is crazy is that they then felt it necessary to interview these people and go, so what did Kobe mean to you? And
yeah.
Some people were just there because they were wanting to see something.
The event.
They weren't like, they had no relationship to Kobe.
Right.
One kid was getting in the background shot, trying to get on TV. And he was like this. And this fucking news reporter goes, son, can I talk to you about Kobe's dying? And he's like, yeah, it sucks. And he's like, well, what did he mean to you? And he's like, and the kid was laughing. I was like, it was so bizarre.
Yeah.
The one that killed me was, and by the way, once again, I'm trying not to be critical of this woman.
Yeah.
But she came. It was like the bizarrest thing. She drove to Kobe's neighborhood to the gate to pay her respects on behalf of her 2 sons and husband who were fans. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
This sounds like. And then this woman told the story, Tom, where she goes, you don't understand. I mean, my husband was in a coma, and then Kobe had a really big game against the Wizards. And then a week later, my husband came out of a coma. There was no connecting the two together.
It's very difficult. Death is a very, it jolts people in a weird way. And everyone reacts in this kind of like weird way. And who knows, maybe my way of not posting anything because I don't know him as my best friend.
Yeah.
Just to be a part of the posting of the day. Maybe that's callous. Maybe that's cold. Maybe it's like, maybe people are like, hey, why isn't Tom mentioning this big thing that happened today? And, there may be some people in the culture that I would do that with. Like if it was Jeter, you know what I mean? I grew up in New York. I lived in New York my whole adult life. And it's like, that was my Kobe in a way. Yeah. And while I love Kobe, it just felt disingenuous to post something. But that's just kind of where we're at. It's like, you can't really judge it because it's kind of the old man on the lawn kind of thing. Like, maybe this is the way you do it now. And then it's okay. And, it makes you feel better. Maybe it makes you feel better posting something about Kobe, even though it has nothing to do with your life. You just feel the grief that everybody's feeling, and maybe it's okay. I don't know, but personally, I have a hard time with it.
You know what stinks is that this is a morbid thought, but my kids will never have the experience that we had when celebrities died before social media.
Yeah,
meaning. Well, I remember finding out Princess Diana died, and it was we were out, and it was, oh my God, did you hear what happened?
Right.
In a weird way, her death brought people together.
Yeah.
Because people who did not know each other were sharing that information and consoling each other that were strangers.
Right.
Yesterday, I found out Kobe died, and then I walked over to Gelson's. I want to be around people for some reason.
Yeah.
I walked
funny.
over
I
to
did
Gelson's.
this. I was at Gelson's too.
Yeah, and and no one was talking to each other. Everyone was just staring into their phones.
Oh, that's interesting.
And no one was like,
because I had it. I landed as soon as I landed. The guy next to me, who wasn't talking to me on the flight, who he came in and I said good morning and he didn't say good morning. I was like, this guy's what's this guy?
Yeah.
And as soon as we landed, it had just happened like 10 minutes ago. He said it. It spread again amongst everybody in our little area.
Yeah.
And then walking through the airport, that's all people were talking about. All the drivers were talking about it. And when I went to Gelson's, it was the cashier and the person bagging and the person before me. Everyone was talking. Like, it did feel to me.
Oh, I didn't. I could see people finding out on their phone.
Yeah.
And so I would see people going, what?
Yeah.
And but no one was talking. I brought it up to the cashier. I said, it's a weird day. She said, yeah.
That's so weird. Can I just say something?
Yeah.
I was in Gelson's, the other Gelson's near us, and I said it's a weird day.
You know what's so crazy?
The
It's
same
like,
exact thing.
if ever, but by the way, all I can think is that to think that comics would steal. No, we just are very similar types of
know,
people.
exactly.
That are
we feel weird.
Yeah,
we need to
talk
eat something.
Parallel thinking
I
and
know.
lives. Holy shit.
We went to the same chain. We wanted to get something to eat. And our big icebreaker is weird day.
Weird day, huh? Oh.
Yeah, but it when John Kennedy Jr. died, when JFK Jr. died in the plane crash.
Yeah.
I was in New York, and it was before the smartphones, so it was playing on TVs in the place where we were shopping for furniture, and everybody was it was like a movie, like in Superman, when everybody like goes up to the window and
or like when OJ,
yeah,
everyone was around the TVs.
A little TV, yeah. It was like that. So it is really kind of strange how it's just like this now. Yeah, it's such a weird thing. And then my kids, so we're all talking about Kobe, and my kids knew like instantly, and they were sad. And then it becomes like who's on their phone the most. Then you found out that his daughter was involved, and then you found out how many other people were involved and all that other stuff. And then I'm about to go walk the dog last night, and I hear my two daughters going, "Hey, I hear the plague is in Orange County from China." They're like, "Yay!" They're like going hands up. They're like, "Yay, plague! Yay, plague!" And I was like, we walked outside. My wife goes, "They have a weird childhood, don't they?"
God, that's so.
It's such a weird time to be a kid.
They were researching the coronavirus when they found out Kobe died.
Oh, the kids were. Yeah.
And it was like, I was literally walking out the door,
yeah.
and my daughter's friend Gabby was like, "Who's Kobe Bryant?" And I went, "What?" She's like, "He died." And I went, "Wait, what?"
Right.
And so it's.
What was the saddest for me was like I heard it, and it was kind of like but watching the Grammys last night.
Oh God, I cried at the very beginning of the Grammys.
Yeah, and when Run DMC was just holding it up, like the jersey, the empty jersey, that all of a sudden it really hit me. It was so sad.
It really, and I tell you, I got emotional today because I thought the baseball coach John
Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt,
John Jacob, no, the baseball coach that was on the flight with them.
John.
His name's John something. He was a baseball coach, but his daughter played with them, and he was with his wife. What? Altabelli. John Altabelli and his wife and one of their daughters were on that flight. They have another daughter and a son. But that I mean, I got emotional this morning going like that. Man, that poor fucking little girl is just like everything's gone for her.
I know. It's who's surviving that your heart really breaks for.
Yeah. Like
when we were on a flight with all four of us, my wife and kids, coming back from New York over the holidays, and it was like, well, this is good. I mean, if this goes down, we're all good.
Yeah.
Grandma's not going to be happy, but but like when we travel by ourselves, like if my wife and I go somewhere, or if we're split up like that, that's the only thing I think about.
Yeah, it's so funny. We were when I was doing a tour in Australia, and the girls came down and to visit or to stay with me, and we did a little bit of jumping around Australia and sightseeing, and then they flew off when I went to finish the tour, and then I put them on a plane, and I was with my tour manager, Gavin, and he said, I just casually said, "Man, what would I do if that plane went down?" And he fucking, it like hit him like a ton of bricks. And he was like, "Fuck, man. Like, what would I do if then he started going, what would I do if my son and my chick died? Like, what would I do?" And then I started going, well, I'd probably stay in Australia. I have no reason to go home.
Right.
Like, I mean, I'd probably just drink myself to death down here. Like,
why even go back?
Yeah, what am I going to go back? I'm not going to start over. Jesus.
But then you got to, yeah, that's a good plan, actually. Just stay where you are and just kill yourself there slowly.
Mine as well. It's like, fuck. Do you ever feel like,
sexy?
No, I'm trying to put this in the right words. I didn't understand how vulnerable I could be until I had kids.
Yeah.
Do you ever look back at your choice to have a family and go, man, I really did not know what I was signing up for.
Yeah, it's I had an inkling though. Like I had an idea that this is going to be kind of free fall. This is going to be like bigger than me kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
Not.
I didn't have I didn't but of course, like anything like that, like you can't plan for it. Like then now things pop up and I cry. I'm fighting crying all the time. All the time.
Dude.
Commercials, movies,
don't
things my
get
daughter
me
says.
started.
Or like the old photos of the kids when they were tiny coming up on the computer. I mean, anything. I'm just, right now, I'm looking at you, and there's no reason you should make me cry, but my eyes are welling up a little bit.
Dude, there is a song. There's a song. I think it's Dr. Dog. I think this has got to be probably 4 years ago, maybe. I think we were doing renovations on the house.
Yeah.
And I was in the man cave, and I'm back here. I'm on the treadmill. I have had a couple glasses of wine.
Nice.
And music's playing, and I was watching something. You know when your TV just goes, it goes into the freeze mode, and then old pictures come up as like a screensaver as they go flying by. And this Dr. Dog song, I want to say it's Dr. Dog. No, this is the song. This is the song. And pictures of my family is going, and it's, oh my God, I started sobbing so hard.
Did it take a while to build, or did it just right off the bat?
Pictures of my little girls.
Yeah.
Little things. It's the little things that do us harm. I'm not a stranger.
And then just hear this like nostalgic music. And I am like,
yeah, this is a relatively happy song, and you're sobbing
because it's funny things. I am sobbing, fucking crying. I mean, I'm gonna get emotional now. I am sobbing, crying in here, and I'm just fucking drunk as shit. I'm sweaty from the treadmill, sobbing, crying. And Leanne came in and she goes, "What's the matter?" And I was like, I fucked up. I was on the road too much. I should have fucking not been on the road. I told that to Steve Byrne. Steve Byrne last night asked me the most innocuous question. He's doing a pilot.
Yeah.
And he asked me if I'd be a part of it. And all you got to do is stand up, and then he'd do a little interview.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, by the way, I had a big day yesterday, and I didn't know that I had to do Steve's thing. So it's at 10:30 at night. So we had people over. We had a few bottles of wine.
Yeah, Sunday
So I
night.
go over there. I go, I don't have to do it. It's just a podcast. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I did fine until he asked me, he goes, you were like a dad before any of us were dads.
Uh-huh.
And I said, yeah. He was like, what was that like? And I just was fucking way too honest. And I was like, I fucked up, man. I was too worried about my career, and I just let everything go by, and I missed a lot. I missed a great deal trying to and he was like, this is a comedy show.
He's like, I'm trying to get this picked up. But this is the sad show.
Yeah, I just was like, but I really feel like that sometimes. Like I was in such a hustle.
But I know. But you know what? So is everybody that has kids. They're out hustling too. Businessmen were doing it.
Yeah.
Business women were doing it. Moms were spreading their time. We're all in a hustle. And the problem is you can't really hang on to those moments as and make as much out of it as you really want to. Everyone gets to the end and is like, where did it all go? How did I do it? My parents say it. They weren't killing it in theaters. You know what I mean? Like we all kind of have that feeling for sure.
Well, look at Bert and Rogan, who are older dads.
Yeah.
And like, I just look at Bert and I'm like, he's doing it really well.
Yeah.
Like he's stopped drinking. He's cutting back on cigar smoke.
Uh-huh.
I want to be there for her. I don't want her to be raised in a house where there's drinking. And and you're just like, I'm like, I didn't know. I just had kids and was like, I got to make some money for these kids. I said on this thing, one of my most stamped memories as a dad is You were never a poor dad.
I wasn't killing it.
No, but you always could pay. You had a house when like
yeah.
I was poor dad at one point.
Uh-huh.
And that was like going to I'll never forget
like falling behind poor.
Like
falling behind in your bills poor.
No, always paid bills, but couldn't just splurge. And it's like one Christmas I remember going to Toys R Us and not being able to get whatever the fuck we wanted.
Right.
And seeing other dads load up carts.
Right.
And then feeling like a failure. Going like
you were the brother in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
I was the
you were the guy.
Eddie.
You were Eddie.
I was Eddie. I thought you were gonna say I was the in Parenthood. I was the one who had cool.
Right.
Yeah. But like and then I go, yeah, man, maybe I don't know. It's so funny. I didn't put much thought into like having kids other than I knew I wanted to have kids.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and then you had your shows. I remember talking to you at the Comedy Store, and when you had made the decision that these travel shows really weren't for you anymore because you could see like your nerves were raw. You were like, I can't, and it was like it was just pulling you too far away. But I really do think that, your kids are going to. I remember John Joseph. Do you remember that comedian from New York, John Joseph? He's a little older comedian, played the guitar, and he had a keyboard guy behind him. And really funny, really sweet guy. And he was on the road a lot. Like not, this is like when we were starting, like, headliner comedy club guys that just went club to club to club from Wednesday to Sundays kind of thing. And he was a lot. And he had these two beautiful daughters. And he really felt that he was gone forever, which he was. And his daughter was applying to college and wrote an essay about how great it was having a comedian as a dad, because she knew, even though he was traveling and whatever, that he was special. And when he was there, it was deeper than what the other dads were giving, and that he was more thoughtful and more fun and really looked at her and really got her and all this stuff. And the being gone was just like one line in the thing that meant nothing. That you, as this big fun dad, comedian, so much better. That you had to go and do all that stuff and to be happy and create your life. I'm guarantee you, your kids are richer for it.
I said that to Isla one time. I said, "Do you feel like I dropped the ball a lot? She's like, well, I don't know. What do you mean? I was like, I don't know, like that I'm not there to like coach your teams or anything. And she was like, no, you're just a different kind of dad.
Right.
But Isla's very blunt. She's like, some of those dads act like they're trying too hard. And you're like,
yeah,
I guess you can see that.
Right, you would see it right when they were really little, and the dad would be like jumping on the monkey bars and like getting involved in the water pistol fights with strangers' kids. It's like, dude, dial it back. What are you doing? You cheating on your wife? What's going on here? Something's up. You're still a grown up, crying out loud.
How old were you when you had kids?
I guess, let's see. I would say I was like 30. I was like 30.
Wait, how old are your kids now?
My daughter is 17 and 14.
Yeah, if I'm 15 and 13. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how old?
15 and 13.
Yeah. Okay. Get ready to cry.
Why?
2 years. She's packing up and she's leaving.
Don't get me started.
My daughter is gone. She is accepted to school. She knows where she's going. She has the date, and she is packing up. And it's going to be horrible. She's literally leaving.
I hate. We got a new house because this house is way too many people know where I live.
Right.
And it was scaring the girls. And
really?
Yeah. People were just showing up at the front door.
Wow, no way.
Yeah. And
it's weird.
A lot of it's my fault. It's entirely my fault.
Right.
Yeah. It's in one. But I was
talking about it.
Well, yeah. I would say things about where I live, and people would hit me up and go, "Hey, man, is this your house?" Like, just text me, and I'd be like, "Yeah." And they're like, "I just found it." You can find out where anyone lives these days. Really easy.
Yeah.
Really, really, really easy.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to make it easy to find other people's houses, but
right.
we got a new house, and Leanne was we were looking houses. She's like, well, we don't want to get too big a house because, in a couple of years, the girl's going to be gone. And the idea of being alone with my wife was terrifying to me. Like that it would just be me and her, and that's it. No razzle dazzle, no sparkler.
We know a guy who just went through that, like the last one left.
Yeah.
And he had to go out with his wife alone. He had to bring notes of what to talk about.
Yeah, because all we talk about is our girls
on the slide, because he was terrified to be alone with her again.
I don't want she is a nice person, but I can't imagine that I could just live with her by herself. I've never done that. We've always had kids. I feel like.
Really? You never?
Well, no, we lived together for a while before we got married. But she was younger then,
She liked me more.
She was younger. She was vibrant. We used to have sex all the time. What are we gonna do now? Just
I know. My wife literally walked into my office this morning and said, "I just thought of a positive to her leaving." She said, "We're gonna get our nights back. Now we have to wait for them to come home. We have to drive them. We can't do anything. You're always gonna be on call." She goes, "We're gonna have our nights back." I was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great."
Yeah, no, it's gonna be weird.
Oh.
I was like, wait a minute, I didn't want this house. I didn't want to live in this town. I didn't want any of this. This was all for you.
Oh.
Yeah, and now they're just gonna split. It's weird. It's gonna be really strange. But also, I have to say, there is a little bit, and maybe this is me rationalizing it, but it does feel a little bit on time. Like it feels like the right moment.
Really?
Like she's getting big. She's smarter than us.
Yeah.
She has better eyesight. She can, she's ready to go. She can't be hanging out in the beanbag room with us anymore. Like it's time for her to go do something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It kind of feels like people have thought this stuff out, this scheduling out way before we showed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they know you shouldn't drink before 5. It's probably they've worked that out.
Yeah.
You should probably not get married, until you're in your 20s.
Yeah.
Your kids are going to want to go at 17. Like all this stuff has kind of been worked out.
My oldest daughter is a very, very, I would say a nerd, but very practical person.
Uh-huh.
Like very, very, very practical.
Yeah.
Meaning, we just the other night, I'm looking at cars going, hey, we're going to get you a car soon. What kind of car are you going to want? And I'm thinking of, for me, a third car that I get to drive around.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, we'll get, and I'm totally fiscally irresponsible. So I'm like, get something fucking nice. Maybe get a Porsche, huh? And she was like, I've actually been looking at the Kreischer minivan. And I went, huh? She goes, they're really, really it's a good car and they're safe and they drive great, Dad. And I'm like, no, I'm not getting you a fucking minivan. The Chrysler Pacifica is what she wants. I go, I'm not getting you a fucking Pacifica.
She's not wrong.
And then she goes, well, I was thinking I might just go to junior college for a couple years, get my grades up, and then go to a bigger school after. And I don't know if I'll be ready to be out on my own.
Wow.
I'm in my head, I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
When I was 17 years old, the day I graduated, I drove to fucking Tallahassee.
Right.
I got enrolled in summer school. I was like, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I'm ready to party my balls off.
Yeah.
I had the funnest, my first week of college, I hooked up with 5 girls. The first fucking week, 5 girls. The 5th girl I ended up dating for 4 years.
Wow.
I was like,
Yeah. Yeah, I know. But maybe she feels like she has to stay here to take care of you.
Maybe.
Maybe she feels like if she leaves you alone, it won't be good for everyone left behind. Maybe she's the grown-up.
My wife's like, I'll go on the road with you.
Yeah.
Hard fucking pass. The fuck am I going to do with you on the road?
I brought my wife on the road with me last summer or spring. And it was just a one-nighter, I don't know, out by Riverside or something out there, a couple hours away. And we'll go. We'll stay in the hotel. It'll be, it'll be cool. And as we're getting ready to go, it's not, you go, you know exactly what's going in that bag.
Yeah.
Last second, out the door, go.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, she's coming along. It's a thing. It's a weekend. And at one point, I heard her yell I'm just like, you can do this, Tom. You can do this. And I just hear from the other room, should we bring our bathing suits? Oh, no.
Should we bring our bathing suits?
We're not swimming. We're not enjoying. We're going to knock this out.
We're going to knock this out.
Eat some wings and come home. We're not doing activities. We're not getting on tandem bikes. This is still a gig.
Oh, that's so fucking great. Should we bring our bathing? Any comic goes, no, we're not fucking going swimming. We're going to work. She's coming with me. Leanne's coming with me to start the tour this weekend. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Congratulations. It looks like a fun tour.
It should be really fun.
Yeah.
But she's like, I got a maple syrup tour we can do. If you want, there's a big maple syrup place. By the way, I'm fascinated with maple syrup, but not enough to go on a fucking tour. And then I'm like, and then part of me goes, like, I'm not that person. When I go on the road, I would like to be in my room.
Yeah.
I like to work out, write, drink at night, sleep in late. Like I'm really kind of a homebody.
Well, it's all about the show. People don't realize, like, anything you do during the day, you're going to be taking away from the show. Yeah. You are. Like, you're sucking energy away. Going to sightsee or do it all, meals with people. How many times you go to a city where you know people and they're like, you want to eat before?
Oh my God, fuck
it's like,
off.
Eat before.
Yeah. Hey, I thought maybe, why don't I make you a home cooked meal? How about you go fuck yourself?
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to your house to eat dinner. I'm good. Thanks, man.
They have no idea what you're about to do that night.
I love when people go, hey, if you need a place to stay, sure. Oh yeah. I'm gonna hole up at your place. We're gonna bunk up like 2 ex-cops. The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, you blow up the mattress. I'm on my way.
Cool, man. I can wake up with your kids too. Yeah. I can't fucking wait. Because I was gonna sleep in because I don't have my kids, but I want to wake up with yours. Oh my God.
Yeah, I want to feel self-conscious about where I can take a dump.
It's so funny. I want to be self-conscious of where I take a dump.
You know what I mean? When I'm alone in my hotel rooms, I don't even like lift the seat.
I don't even flush.
Right, exactly.
I like to build it up for the weekend.
One flush on the way out as a courtesy.
I was talking to Greg Fitzsimmons once, and I was like, man, I think he'd stopped doing Sundays, and I stopped doing Sundays.
Yeah.
I kind of miss Sundays, and we talked about our Sundays on the road, and they were identical.
Oh, really?
I go, oh, yeah, man. Turn on football. He's like, unpack your entire suitcase and repack it and organize it. And I go, yes. He was like, just hang out in your room, watch fantasy football, have all your computers up. And I was like, Sundays on the road were so much fun.
Pretty sweet.
Because you could get everything organized for your Monday morning flight. And then you went to the club, did a show. And then I was
early.
Oh, one show.
I
used to go into clubs. I told this to Bert the other day. I used to go into clubs and on Sundays and get on stage and say, I'm going to be up here for an hour. Let's see if we can drink all of their White Russians. And so everyone would order White Russians. And man, we're talking fucking, I'd have like 6 White Russians on stage. I mean, it was, oh yeah, I'm just burping and farting. There's so much milk. But we would drink the fuck out of
milk.
So much milk.
Gross. Oh God.
Oh,
how are you doing with that now? So, are you when you go tour? Are you going to be? How hard do you go? And do you feel like that? You feel like you have to go because people want you to go?
I think people. I think people like. I know for a fact that people get bummed like during Sober October. That people get genuinely bummed that I'm not partying. And I'm like, I'm the same fucking guy.
Yeah. Because Attell went through that.
Yeah, he went through it. And I think it ended up making him want to quit drinking.
Yeah, right. He sobered up.
Yeah. I go pretty hard, but not as hard as people assume. Like I think people think, like I'm always shocked at people who can't get their shit done and alcohol gets in the way of their life.
Yeah.
Because for me it won't. Like I will not drink before a show. Yeah. I won't go day drinking. I don't have a beer at lunch.
Right.
Like I like to work out hard, really hard for me, obviously not for like Rogan or anything, but work out hard.
I like how Joe's like all of our benchmark of like, he posted something the other day of like, he had to do the night off and he was just like, I just had a monstrous workout and I was just like, and now I'm relaxing at home watching this fight. And I was like, oh, and I had just gotten back from the gym on the road where I was just on the elliptical for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, monstrous workout. Like, what was that? You know what I mean?
You know,
we just can't compare.
He burns, just to put this in perspective, and we all have, we all wear Whoop wristbands where you can track our sleep and our calories burned and whatnot. And when I work out hard, not excessively, but hard, I'll burn 3,600 calories in a day, which is a lot. Joe Rogan, on average, burns about 4,500 calories a day.
Jeez.
On average. That's an average.
Oh, my God.
His big days, like where he goes, I'm going hard today, they're astronomical.
God.
Like,
it's hard to be friends with him.
Yeah, there's
it really is.
Well, there's it's hard. There are parts of it where because I talk a lot of shit and I joke and I bust balls.
Yeah,
but Joe takes exercise and fitness very, very seriously.
Oh yeah,
and so sometimes when I notice that when I've made jokes like, "Hey, I'll fucking do that," he'll look at me sideways and go, "You physically can't. You're not an elite athlete." Like he'll like there are certain disconnects where like I'll make statements. He's like, like. Running on a treadmill is not real running, Bert. Like, and you're like, of course it is. He's like, no. Get in the fucking sand, into your shins, and like, because the way he works out, he would never run on a treadmill. He runs hills.
I know.
Runs hills like he's a wide receiver.
I know. I said to him, I was like, so what do you think? What do you think I should do? Like, what kind of equipment do you think I should get? Because I'm doing it at home, and I'm like thinking of like all this stuff I could get, like to create a gym in my house or whatever. And he's looking at me and he just goes, I think, from where you're at, you probably just start with push-ups. You don't need any equipment. Listen, chubby noodle arm. You just start. How about you crank out 20 push-ups and then we'll start talking about equipment.
He is, I can't, it's kind of bizarre to see. How long have you known Joe?
I'm off and on for a while, but probably like, where we became pretty good friends and like probably the last 5 years.
It's amazing what is going on with his life right now. Like with just the presidential, like backing Bernie Sanders and then the internet losing their mind.
It almost seemed fake, didn't it?
I think I was talking to Bert about it and he's just like, it's fucking bizarre.
It's so bizarre.
Because I don't see him as anything other than the guy I text with.
Right.
Like,
well, that's the thing. Like, because we know him so well, you figure, well, everybody knows that this guy's heart and mind are in the right place. It's not even just like the right place. He's like inspiring, like how accurate and well thought out he is with his positions. Yeah,
he's thoughtful with his
very
words.
Thoughtful,
he's thoughtful he's very thoughtful, which is sometimes like you'll make, definitely from my perspective, I'll make an off-color joke. Or make something like a flippant thing that I haven't thought through. Yeah. And you'll definitely see Joe cock his head and go, why would you say that?
Right.
And you're like, I don't know, man. I'm not thinking things through. I'm just talking.
No, he does. He really does. That's why when that came out, it was like people were like, some guy to callously say on this podcast that espouses these kind of bad ideas, whatever, is like, you obviously don't listen to this guy at all, and you're writing a headline for CNN. That is so reckless. Yeah. So crazy. I mean, but he's fine. He also handles all that stuff really well.
I would not handle it as well. Like
I could back Satan on my podcast. I wouldn't get one tweet about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he's so huge that it's powerful.
It's funny too because you forget like the day that all that shit was going down about him. I think we were texting about something else, and then my dad called and he's like, "You're friends with Joe Rogan, right?" I said, "Yeah," and he goes, "Is he really backing Bernie?" And I went, "Huh?" He's like, "Oh, buddy, you gotta fucking turn on the news. That's all anyone's talking about right now is Joe Rogan's backing Bernie, and Bernie is touting that Joe's supporting him." And he's like, "Yeah." And so I got online and I was like, "Wow." I was like, all this shit's going on. I don't even know if Joe's aware of it or if he even cares. Because I'm texting with him about bullshit.
Yeah.
And he seems more invested in the horseshit text I have than.
That's smart though.
Yeah.
Anybody that I'm friends with that is like that kind of level guy that,
you've got a lot of friends like that.
Yeah. That have like high exposure and stuff kind of time to time crops up on them in the media. It's the ones that can just tune it off and realize don't engage, that live a healthy life. And it's true. Like if you respond and now you're attracting it to you more, it's such a, Seinfeld calls it the river of shit. It's just the culture and the media is such a river that they'll like say something about you, give it a beat, and now they're saying something about 10 other people. And Joe seems like he manages that really well.
How did you meet Seinfeld?
I met him in New York when he was done doing his show, and before he went back and did stand up at the clubs, he was just checking out the clubs, kind of sitting in the back, seeing what the scene was like. And this one night, stand up New York where you could see through there's like a window into the bar area from the stage you could see. And he walked in one day as I was on stage. I was like, hey, and I tried to like be as funny as I possibly could. Next night, same club, same thing. He walks in again, and I started throwing out different material to let him know I've got more than 2 jokes. And when I came off, he's like, hey, you're really funny. He like called me over. There was no one else at the bar, like nobody. It's just like a Tuesday night or whatever.
Yeah.
And he just said, you're really funny. And we just started kind of, I wasn't annoying, and I just grabbed onto him and just didn't let go for 10 years. Really, because there's nobody else in he didn't have people to hang with. He had Colin Quinn. That was it.
Yeah.
And
I think I forgot the idea that he lived out here shooting his TV show.
Yeah.
And then when it was done, he moved back to New York.
Yeah. Yeah. He've always thought that would be a better place to live. Like that was a healthier place for him to be.
New York?
Yeah.
Really?
And so he didn't know anybody. So it was a cool thing too, when like those final years of the show, I was hustling so hard in the clubs in New York that I didn't see TV shows at all. So I missed kind of the hype of the end of Seinfeld. I was a fan of it, but I wasn't so in it that I was freaked out when I met him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I was very aware of his level of fame at that time. There was no one bigger in the culture at the time,
Yeah, yeah.
But I was just, don't be annoying and learn everything you can about comedy. And he loves talking comedy. So we just started from there and then became friends as time went on. But, I literally was a sponge. I was like, he matched what I thought I should be doing I was hanging out, I was performing, and I was seeing people like Attell or, Kevin Brennan or Chappelle, like all these people that seemed like they were either drinking or getting high or just so casual and staying out till 3 a.m. And I wasn't built that way. Like I was like, shouldn't we be writing during the day and doing the things?
Yeah.
And how do you work? And Seinfeld was like my mentor for that way of working.
That's the way his brain worked. He didn't want to stay out all night.
Right. So it was a relief. It was like a real relief that, this, if I can do it his way. Finally, I found someone whose path I could follow.
Yeah.
So I just, I absorbed everything. How he wrote, how he carried himself, how he did his workout sets, how he did his, like workout in the clubs, how he would go on the road, all of that stuff. I just, I would sit at the backstage when we started going into theaters after he got back in shape and went out on tour. And I'd watch every single set. I mean, every set, you know what I mean? Like I knew this was a special chance for me to learn something. And I got as much out of it as I possibly could.
I have always, and maybe it's, I don't know who I surround myself by, but I feel like I've learned more what not to do by people.
Uh-huh.
Like it was very clear. I can very easily see people fucking up.
Yeah.
I could identify with that and go, okay, stay away from that. But I couldn't. I have a hard time. I have a hard time, especially like the way I write. I write so fucking oddly. Like it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily sit down to write. I feel like I'm just always writing. Like I'm always there. So I'm always looking for something.
Yeah.
And then like.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Because I've been watching. You're so great at social media because you're creative with it. Like you're putting out there's an energy behind what you post and stuff that's really funny and relevant and like and funny.
Well, thanks.
Do you think you're able to do that because you are like you're writing all the time kind of thing? Like,
I think so.
And do you divide it up like this will go on social and this is for my act, that kind of thing?
No, I don't know. I think it's because I'm on all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't split it up. I've actually, I wish I had times I had. I wish there are things that I've put out that on social media or to promote things that would have been much better had I saved it and used it as a bit. And
you've got such great energy with it.
Oh, I really enjoyed it. I really think the majority of it is from hosting on Travel Channel. And being in front of the camera so much.
Right.
And not being like there's certain things I do that like other people do not do in life. And it is derived directly from working on Travel Channel. Like I will accost a stranger if I see something that I like and ask them where they got it.
Yeah.
Like I remember my wife, we were walking with the girls and I think we were like at a farmer's market or something.
Yeah.
And someone had this great fucking like ice cream thing. And I go, oh, that's fantastic. Where did you get that? And the guy was like, and I go, what? And I started almost interviewing him about it as if I was doing Man on the Street.
Right, right.
And my wife's like, don't like,
it's
why
so
would you?
funny.
Yeah. But they're, and that, and I very quickly go into like a host mode of going, I think of everything as a bit. I think everything like,
yeah.
I have filmed myself going into a polar plunge now 4 times. I've filmed it every fucking time, but I haven't gotten the one that I want to deliver the dates right.
Right.
But I've filmed it. I've had the girls film me. because I've been saunaing polar plunging every day.
Yeah. Are you really?
Oh, I love it. I
really?
fucking love it.
Where do you do it?
Right here in my garage. We did this thing for this the show I did for Netflix where we had a sauna and a polar plunge.
Yeah.
But we only got like a 1-person sauna.
Yeah.
It ended up being fucking hilarious. It's going to be so fucking funny.
Yeah.
But at the end there was like, it's a cheap sauna. And they're like, we're just gonna throw it away. And I was like, don't. I'll take it.
Oh, so you kept it.
It's a 1-person sauna. It's like a fucking phone booth.
Right.
But it gets hot as shit. You sweat your ass off. And then I got a 150-gallon tub. I get like $40 worth of ice, fill it with ice water. And I'll sit in the sauna for 30 minutes and then jump in the plunge for a minute and then back in the sauna, then back in the plunge.
Really?
Just back and forth. I fucking love it. I love it, but I am a quick fix kind of guy.
Right. You want the silver bullet.
Right. I am like I'm the kind of guy that's like I'm having a shake. I'm having a kale shake, and I will take 9 stalks of kale, 4 things of celery, a jalapeno, garlic, ginger.
This is the shake that's going to change my life.
This shake will fix it all. And then I'll be shitting my brains out for the rest of the day, and I'll be like, that's what I was like. I'm like, my wife started drinking water a lot. Like she's drinking a gallon, and I was like, I'm drinking 2 gallons.
Right.
I am a quick fix person, but I don't turn it off, and it's annoying to my daughters. Right when you came in, I was filming that poster.
Oh, right.
And I was filming it, and I put it on. I put a thing on Instagram. Then your reaction coming into the house on my stories. I have one in my feed, one of my stories. I can't stop.
I know, and it's so valuable.
The other day.
Do you ever do this that I do all the time? I go to do it, and I think no one wants to see that, and put it down.
I did it yesterday. Yesterday I went like this. I was on the treadmill. I go, hey guys, just finished 6 miles. And then I went, why the fuck does anyone care how much mileage I ran today? And I just put it down.
There's a good balance.
I was like, what the fuck are you doing, Bert?
I do that all the time.
Kobe Bryant just died, and I'm like, just finished 6 miles.
Yeah. Isn't there the funny thing, too? It's like, oh, man, now I can't post anything today.
I'll tell you what. I believe in, especially with social media, stealing from the greats. One of the funniest things I had ever seen, and I've told Sebastian this a number of times, was his wife. I don't even know if they were doing it on purpose. She was fucking with him on stories, and she would record him and then go, okay, and pretend she wasn't recording and go, all right, promote your date. And he'd go, hey guys, and then she'd take her finger off the thing. That changed me so much. And so I started, one of my favorite things to do is just record people talking to me. So like today, Leanne, I told Leanne, I'm having a problem with my back molars with this right side. I don't know if I'm grinding my teeth or whatever, but they're breaking. The molars are chipping. And I said to my wife today in the car, I go, I know it's going to be, it is going to be a lot of oral surgery to get these fixed.
Oh God.
And I said, I just wonder if I can outlive the pain. And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, I mean, how many more years do I have? Maybe it's not worth going into the surgery. Maybe I'll die within the next 10 years.
I can fight through this.
Yeah. Like, I mean, how bad? And she started yelling at me, going, "You're fucking! Did you just say you'd rather die than go to the dentist?" And I just started recording her yelling at me. And
you posted it?
Yeah, I posted it. And then she saw it. She went, "What the fuck did you just do?" And I was like, "Oh, I thought it was funny."
Yeah, I got to be more like you.
No, not at all. Fucking, I
got to do more of it.
People are knocking on my front door, Tom, because my daughters have already asked that I don't do any Instagram videos at the new house.
Yeah.
They were like, please.
Right.
They go, we don't want to have to move again. Like, please. And I've not done one Instagram. I have not done anything.
Are you going out with a whole new act now on this tour?
Yeah.
How long was that from your special to from last time?
2 months.
2 months?
Yeah.
From when it dropped?
It dropped. No, it hasn't even dropped yet. I have a little bit of a swing period where I can do, I think I probably have a new 30 to 40 minutes. And so, but I have enough leeway of when the special drops. It's dropping and that I can give me a month, and I think by the time it drops, it'll be a brand new hour.
Right.
And then any market that I go to that saw the last hour, there's enough. They'll see 100% new stuff.
That's cool.
Because it's been a full year since I've visited any of those markets.
Right.
And so I didn't have this hour that I just dropped totally when I did those.
Right.
But yeah, I have I write really quick, and I write really quick, but my bits are like fucking 10 minutes long.
Right.
It's like one bit is
a story.
Is long. So I think I don't know. We'll see. I'll have you always say to yourself, I have this much material, and then you go out and you do it, and you're like, and especially in a theater, it shrink wraps so much.
I know, it really does. They moved mine up earlier. I thought I had like another 2 months.
Yeah,
and then they moved it up earlier.
Really?
So I'm.
When's yours drops next week?
Next week.
Or this week? Right now.
4th.
It's right. The 4th.
The 4th. Yeah.
Nice.
And which is great, but I'm behind. You know what I mean?
When do you start going out on the road again?
I'm just not stopping. Yeah.
That's one of the weird things that I never could wrap my head around, because like I understand, I do understand now. I do understand the branding of having a tour, right? Like you're doing a theater tour it needs to be different than the last one. It's got to, I understand that now. But I remember when they were like, hey, you need to name this tour. And I was like, it's called Doing the Road. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I know.
I was like, I do this for the rest of my life. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
But that was something I remember, like alt comics did a lot of. They were like, they'd call Doing the Road a tour.
I know.
And I remember it just sounded so fancy that I was like, I wish I could do a tour.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I just do comedy. I do this every fucking week.
I know.
It's not stopping anytime soon.
You know who's good at that is Brewer.
Yeah.
Right? Brewer has he was always kind of like ahead of the curve on it.
Yeah.
But and then some, like when Seinfeld tours, he just puts a new year on it. This is the 2020 tour.
Smart.
Yeah, I know.
Right. He hasn't done a special
He just did.
He did. Oh, that's right. Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah.
It's
not
out.
It comes out in May.
Yeah.
In May.
It's like a super special thing too, because he does something crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone was talking about that.
Yeah. It's gonna be cool. Yes, but I don't know. I feel like making it something is definitely important, but we have so many random dates also thrown in. Like, it's not just the theaters you're gonna go do, right? Like, you get all these random other things that pop up, and so it's hard to say like what's part of the tour and what's not. I don't know.
You probably do a lot of corporate stuff.
I do a good amount.
I've never done one corporate gig.
No?
I actually have only done like probably 3 or 4 colleges.
Yeah.
I've done one corporate gig, and I've done probably 3 or 4. I fucked up very early on, really aggressively. I just did an article with Vulture about this. I was touring with Jay Moore, and he did a college called Northeastern.
Right.
And there was a sign language lady on stage, and I just fucking harassed her.
Right.
And
oh, no.
And then she
sent
a very the hackiest shit any fucking hack comic would have done is exactly what I've done.
Yeah.
The difference is I'm embarrassed about it now.
Right.
Like, there are some guys that are like, dude, I lit that bitch up, and you're like, easy.
You're right.
Everyone did that.
You have to make her do the sign language for blowjobs.
That was what I opened with.
Right.
And I closed with her eating a man's ass. I said to the guy on Vulture, I go, it was like the Invisible Man ran a train on this poor woman. But and so I never did any colleges. They kind of like killed me for colleges. Word spread. This is not the college act you want.
That's so
and
funny.
So yeah, for me it's just theaters. It's just
that's good.
Shows.
I get called for a lot of corporate stuff. Because I think they don't have to worry about me being too offensive. You know, that kind of thing. So
did you ever turn that going into Tanzania thing into a bit?
No.
God, we both had that same experience, didn't we?
Which one?
You went into Tanzania on a hot air balloon, right?
Yeah.
And then you went in, drank goat's blood with the chief?
No. We got knocked off track on the balloon.
Yeah.
Kind of semi-crash landed.
Oh yeah. By the way,
of course.
That's the one thing they don't tell you. All hot air balloon landings are a crash landing. Not one hot air balloon, and they don't know where they're landing.
No,
they're like, okay, I think we're gonna land in this parking lot of this Wendy's.
Right? Yeah, and you're just hitting things along the way. You're holding on to your children. It's gonna be okay.
Dude, hot air balloons suck dick. They are so fucking bad. It's hot as shit in them. The top of your head's on fire. You go high as fuck. You're in a wicker basket.
I know.
And every landing is a crash landing.
My little daughter has this talent of like, whenever she says things are messed up, we're always like, get over it, and she's always right. you know, and she's like, this doesn't make sense that we're starting upside down, like on your back.
Oh, on your back,
in your basket, while fire shooting into the balloon. And my daughter's just crying. And then at the end, we crash off course in the middle of this tribal village. And they all come running with like rabid dogs, and they all come with sticks coming marching at us. My daughter's like, see, I told you. This is a horrible idea. We could be at the pool right now. And we just hung out there, and we're all like, it's gonna be cool, and they were all like chewing that, was a cot, that kind of stick that makes you hallucinate. Yeah, and crazy dogs and all this stuff, and they were kind of friendly, but kind of eyeballing us. And my daughter took a picture of them on her phone and showed it to them. They'd never seen that before. They were like, you just came down from like the heavens or something. But our guide finally caught up in the Jeep, got us, big African dude, and he was just like, okay, let's get in the car. Okay, let's go. And he was nervous.
Yeah.
And after being like telling my kids it's gonna be cool, I realized, oh no, something could go sideways here.
Yeah.
And he buzzed us out of there. So we didn't get to go in and like hang with them.
We went in on a helicopter, and we went into the village on a helicopter, and they all just came out like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. UFO.
The joke I made, I tried to do this as a bit one time, but I could never really it seems like what I cared about wasn't important in the story.
Mm-hmm.
But like one of the things that I was so impressed by was how quickly my settler instincts kicked in.
Yeah.
Where I don't know what it is, but like as we were landing, I thought to myself sincerely, and by the way, I'm a host of Travel Channel.
Yeah.
I should have this like Anthony Bourdain, like humility.
Uh-huh.
I'm going, I wonder if I could conquer these people by myself. Like, I wonder if I could become their Marlon Brando, their God, their fucking.
Yeah, I could do this.
Yeah, I bet I could
take
do this.
them.
Yeah. I poisoned some of the men, right?
Yeah.
To pull out my phone, show them some voodoo. What's funny is I took out my phone because we went in.
That is a funny bit, by the way.
What's that?
The essence of that feeling.
Yeah.
Like that's, especially now when people talk about white privilege and
yeah,
like you could say like, I'm telling you that it's a real thing and it's deep inside of us.
I can't get out of it.
And I didn't realize it until we landed in a village like, I am your leader. Like that could be
I stepped off that
end.
helicopter like a goddamn god.
Yeah.
I just like
That's
I
a great
have
bit.
everything you guys could ever dream. Stuff you couldn't have dreamed of. We went. The first thing they did is they slit a goat's throat and bled him into a horn.
Wow.
And I was like, what? And they gave it to me. They're like, drink it. And I was like, fuck. They were in Africa. Blood in Africa is not my first beverage.
No. It's like an AIDS cocktail.
Yeah.
God.
I go, so then I make a joke. I go, then we had to do it twice. We had to bleed it twice because we didn't pass it around.
Right.
So we did it twice and said, but the thing that's funny about the cell phone is we ended up rolling bones, I think is what they call it. It's where the witch lady tells you your future.
Right.
And
when they scatter the bones out on the
and they read them. And she said, she then said, I was with some of the guys and I said, this place smells like my man cave. And they're like, what? I go, my man cave. Like I have a man cave. I go, it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this will blow their minds. I go, let me show you a picture of my man cave. So I go to my photos to find a picture of my man cave. Now, something I do is if I'm watching porn and someone texts me, I screen grab it. Okay.
No.
So like, it'll be like, my wife, what are you up to? And I'll screen grab it because I just think it's funny.
Yeah.
As I'm flipping through, there's a porno video of Bonnie Rotten, just a picture of Bonnie Rotten sucking some guy's cock. And they've never seen pornography. They've never seen a cell phone.
Yeah.
Let alone have they ever seen a woman with cobwebs tattooed on her nipples, like covered in tattoos, just and then a text from my wife at the top. And these guys are like, whoa, what is that? And I was like, in my head, I'm like, I'm showing them porn for the first time.
Yeah.
I was like, guys, that's America right there. And my crew got really, like, one of the guys got really upset with me. He's like, dude, you cannot show these guys pornography. Like you like, what is wrong with you?
What do you think?
And at that moment, I was like, I could so easily conquer them.
Right, exactly.
Hey guys, why don't you borrow my phone? Go sit by the trees while I impregnate your women and poison your children. Poison your water lines.
I'm your new father.
I'm your new father. Who wants to see Bonnie Rotten again? You know what? Let's get her on the phone. Bonnie!
Would you ever take another gig that made you travel like that? Like now, like as the kids are older and stuff?
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't really have any passion to do much more than what I'm doing. Like support for the Bertcast comes from TurboTax. TurboTax is here to help this tax season by making tax filing easier for you. They made it their mission to give you all the tools and advice you need to get your taxes done with confidence, like making uploading your W-2 as easy as taking a picture. Just use your phone or tablet to simply snap a picture of your W-2 and then watch your information appear in the right place in your tax return. You can be sure you're filing your taxes correctly while at the same time making sure you're getting the best possible refund. TurboTax. All people are tax people. This podcast is also brought to you by Undercover Tourist. You know that for a long period of time, I was Bert the Conqueror. Bert the Conqueror was all about vacation. What was easy for me is I never had to plan that vacation. I just showed up, and the network I worked for at the time, they planned it for me. I didn't know how much money we were saving. I didn't know how much time we were saving. Now, if I try to plan some spring break vacation around some theme park, or I have a trip to a theme park planned, I am absolutely clueless. And I just found out about Undercover Tourist. You need to know about them if you're planning a trip to a theme park, because Undercover Tourist can save you significant time and significant money. The exact same tickets to theme parks that you know and love, they get them for less. No catch. Save up to $145 on each theme park ticket. Each theme park ticket. That is significant. Think of the savings for a family of 4 or even 6 or even 8 if you're bringing your grandparents. They want to see them there. Authorized sellers. 20 years of quality service providing theme park and attraction tickets at discounted prices. A+ ratings from the Better Business Bureau, so you don't have to worry that you're going to get finagled somehow, and over 1 million app downloads of the Orlando Wait Times app. This is completely hassle-free. Emails, physical tickets, skip the lines at the gate, go straight to the rides. You pay what you see. No hidden fees, no hidden taxes included. Well, obviously where applicable. 90-day ticket returns, also where applicable, with friendly and knowledgeable agents. Customer service agents will take care of you as Undercover Tourist takes care of them. Additional discounts in bundling tickets with hotels, car rentals, free planning tools, free park plans, what to do and when to do. It saves you 4 hours a day not standing in lines and zigzagging around the park. Trust me, as a man who has spent 4 summers in theme parks, that is absolutely priceless. I hate standing in lines. I will not stand in lines. It will ruin a park for me if I stand in lines. This is why they're priceless. Can you not rip out paper while I'm in the middle of a read? Blogs and travel tips, best time to visit, where to stay, and trust me, that is so important. Best times to visit and where to stay. And obviously what's new in the Q&A from the community. Undercover Tourist is the trusted name for theme park tickets. Start planning your next theme park vacation now by visiting undercovertourist.com/Bert. That's an additional discount using Bert on top of the big savings that are already going to be offered through Undercover Tourist. That's undercovertourist.com/Bert. Don't forget, I am a trusted expert in theme parks, and there are only a handful of us. I don't really have any passion to do much more than what I'm doing. Like I'm not. I did that. We did that Netflix series that we just wrapped, and I had so much fucking fun on it that I was like, I'd do that again, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't really. Maybe I'm wrong, because I got to be honest with you, man. Lately I have missed how much fun that show was.
Yeah.
Meaning the show was a horrible show. It wasn't good.
You were good at it. It was a good show.
But the being on the road with that crew was so fucking fun.
What didn't you like about the show?
I wasn't allowed to be the person I am today. I always felt like
that.
I always felt
like hosty.
Yeah.
You
I
had
always
to, though. Like, you're in those networks.
I used to tell them, I think if you let me do what I think is good, I think it would be a better show. And I remember one of the execs telling me, "Hey man, you're no Anthony Bourdain. You're lucky to be here." And I was like,
"What?"
Yeah, and I was like, "Okay, that's when the writing was on the wall." And I was like,
"What?"
And then now those same guys,
how do you work with that guy another minute?
Yeah, now those guys are like, "Hey man, can we get tickets to your?" I mean, one of the guys. By the way, and this is not the guy. I'll say the guy's name. He did not say that. He was the first guy that ever brought me to Travel Channel. Is a guy named Matt Butler, right? Matt Butler. It did not say any of that shit. Matt Butler brought me to Travel Channel to do Bert the Conqueror, and then he got fired from Travel Channel and went over to Discovery.
Okay.
Now Discovery has acquired Travel Channel, and he is in a weird circumstance back running Travel Channel, right? And we tried to figure out a project we could do together, because I still have I love Matt Butler.
Yeah.
And the guy this other guy, Dan Adler, was the guy, they were all the team that brought me to Travel Channel in the first place. So we were trying to do a show together, and we were figuring it out. And I was in Baltimore, and I said, why don't you come to the show? I'll come some tickets, bring a friend, bring your wife, and bring some friends.
Yeah.
And come backstage. And I appreciated the look on his face, but the look on his face was, it was very honestly, how the fuck do these people know who you are? Like he was
had
just
no
like,
idea.
Well, I think he knew that good things were happening for me.
Yeah.
But to be I've had other people say that to me, like people I grew up with, that go, all these people in this line want to see you? And you're like, yeah. But he was very genuine. Like, he goes, it's going to surprise you too, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, these people know who you are. Like,
You're Bert.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, no, it happens. Yeah. But it was very, it was like a genuine compliment without even complimenting me. It was a compliment that he was like,
yeah.
so they know who you are? And I'm like, yeah, I'm as shocked as you are.
It's so funny.
Those,
you ever have like early on when people would come to your show and there's like, it's the opposite where there's like, it's not a big show like you're doing like the late night at some club or whatever. And like one of your biggest fans would show up and be like, where is everybody?
Yeah. Where is everybody?
I thought you're huge.
I'll tell you what.
I remember my George Carlin.
I remember the first time. This is a bizarre recollection of comedy. I remember the first time that I wasn't performing in front of strangers, meaning like people. I remember the very first day, and I actually said, "Why are you guys here?"
Right.
And the guy was like, "Machine Story," and everyone was like, "Yeah, we just saw them." And like the whole room, I went, You guys know who I am?"
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yeah, Vinny Brand at the Stress Factory." There was a blizzard that came in.
Right.
And it was me and Rocky Dale Davis. And I think Florentine came out that weekend to hang out.
Cool.
And I remember being like, so I remember Florentine.
People showed up. Florentine
goes, dude, got a fucking packed audience. And I'm so that I've always been in one speed in my career that I was like,
right.
I was like, yeah, was nothing going on this weekend? And he was like, I don't know. I think they're here to see you. And I was like, Jim, they're not here to see me. And I was like, I guarantee you something's like...
Such a comedian thing to think. Is there nothing else going on this weekend?
Like, what the fuck?
Like, they have no other options.
And Jim was like, no, man, I'm pretty sure they're here to see you. And Vinny Brand came in and he goes, this is going to be a great weekend. Like, we're sold out for all our shows. He's like, I'm going to have to bonus you. And so I went out. And I remember going on stage and go, why are you guys here? Like, I really genuinely had never performed in front of anyone who knew who I was.
It comes from so many years of, remember like when they'd come in, you'd like be like, oh, it's only at the Stress Factory, say, and there's like half full. And you're like, oh, okay. And they would come in and say, yeah, well, they have the big ice sculpture festival this weekend. You're like, what? They always put out something. Well, there's a bowling tournament on next Friday, so maybe that's it.
Someone said that backstage one time. I was with Bert and some other people, but Bert was there.
Yeah.
And someone came out. Someone said, I forget who it was, but they were like, "How was your weekend?" And he goes, rough weekend. They had the rodeo was in town, so light numbers.
Yeah.
And they left. And I remember Bill Burr, in the most meticulous way, said, "If they want to see you, they come see you." And I go, what? And he goes, rodeos don't affect ticket sales. And it's so funny.
So many years of that.
It's so funny because I've gone to so many weekends where you're like, where you wrote it off to like, oh, shut up. Boys to Men's performing tonight?
Right.
That's where everyone is.
I know. I remember calling home to my wife and being like, yeah, well, Boys to Men's here. Well, what does that mean about you?
So you mean all the 50-year-old black people didn't show up to your show?
Big crossover audience.
Oh, it was a big abortion rally, so you know how that did.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's so brutal.
It's so crazy. I hope in heaven that there's a green room just for comics.
Yeah.
So that we can, because like sometimes I can't relate to other people who don't, like, you know, I had a really great conversation with Moshe Kasher the other day. And he brought up this really phenomenal point about it that he read in a book. And regardless, I can't really, I'm hesitant to re-articulate it.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure I would fuck it up. But it's in regards to the Holocaust and Jewish guilt and whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so I was at a party the other night. I was trying to share this thought. And it was like, two comedians can talk about the most politically volatile subject and not get heated.
Right.
And just look for the interest in it.
Yeah.
The interest, the fucking wiggle into it and the wiggle out of it.
Right, right.
And regular people can't do that sometimes. Regular people
get
offended and they take things personally.
Yeah. They also don't consider the source. I think that's a big problem, is that they Like, you could say anything to me because I know the source.
Yeah.
I know truthfully who you are. So you could say something that's totally out of nature for you, and I know that you're doing something funny because I know it doesn't come from the heart of who this person is. Those people don't allow you that, which makes it like offensive. You know what I mean? Like we were talking earlier about a Joe. It's like, you know, for people to attack that thing, it's like you don't really know who this person is, obviously.
At all.
Yeah. And comedians, I think they're because we're such non-bullshit, truthful people, we're kind of the only ones that, you know, allow that person to be true, to do it, because you could see the truth in him.
I remember one time, and it's like only a comedian's brain. My daughter Isla had a school dance, and they were debating whether or not they should, but the parents were in the circle, and they were saying that if girls wanted to dance with girls, they shouldn't stop that, and they should let boys dance with boys, even though those boys aren't sexualized yet.
Yeah,
they shouldn't stop that. And they were agreeing, and I was like, and they were like, everyone's cool with that, right? And I was like, yeah, as long as they're white. And everyone's like, what did you just say? And I go, it's a joke. And they're like, no, that's not funny. And I went, hold on, it is funny. It is funny. You don't have a sense of humor,
right?
It's irony. I'm by the way, I'm trying to work this into a bit so hard right now. This thing. I think I've told this to one other person, so it hasn't gotten better. Anyone that's ever heard this,
yeah.
I was trying to parent comedy, with Georgia, but and parent, but I was more important to me was that she understands why certain things are funny. So she had said, we were listening to this fucking Moana. Have you heard this story? I have not heard the story. We were listening to this song from Moana, and in the middle of the song, a volcano erupts. And I go, what's that noise? And Georgia says, that's Isla coming out of the closet. And I go, hey, you can't say that. She goes, why not? And I said, well, first of all, I don't want you to, it's not funny that someone's gay. That's not a joke. People are just gay, and they have families, and they fall in love, and that's regular. And if your sister is gay, and Isla's like, I'm not gay. I go, shut up. I go, but if your sister is, and that's not, it's not a joke that she's gay. It's just let her live her life. All we want her to be is happy. And she goes, I wasn't being serious. I go, I know you weren't being serious, but that the joke can't be that, hey, someone's gay. It's not funny. The thing erupts again, and Isla says, seriously, what is that? And I turn around and I go, oh, that's the sound of Georgia coming out of the closet. Georgia goes, wait, you can't make that joke. I go, no, my joke is ironic. I am making fun of your joke.
Right.
Like, I'm not making that joke. I'm making fun of your joke. Do you understand that? I go, I'm only saying that joke because you said that joke, and I'm making fun of your joke. And she's sitting there like this. My wife gets in the car, and the sound goes off again. My wife goes, what's that noise? And Georgia looks at me and goes, that's the sound of you coming out of the closet, Mom. And looks at me, and I go, that's a funny joke. and Georgia's, and my wife's like, you can't make that joke. And I was like, at least they're not making it about me.
Yeah.
It was like the teaching someone why certain things are fun. It's such a like a
life lesson.
And I was like, I care more about them having a sense of humor.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking when we said, like, well, comedians are the people that can do that, but it's also other human beings that have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Right. I bet there was one person in that parent circle that was like,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And
there's nothing more fun. There's nothing more fun than aggravating someone who doesn't have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
That just doesn't get it.
Yeah. No, I mean, that story, as soon as you said parent circle, I have so many friends, comedians, writers, who have been in that parent circle and gotten into a lot of trouble because the odds are against you. There was
a writer who I met with who got in trouble at a parents group because he went to, I don't know who this guy is. He lives around here. He's like, he goes to our school. I don't know this guy. He came into, and I guess he had gone to a party, and there were two gay parents, two gay dads.
Yeah.
And the one gay dad said, Michael, and this is my partner, David. And he goes, oh, you guys cops? And I was crying laughing. The fact that people got upset made me want to find those people and just fuck with them for the rest of their lives.
I know.
It's like, how do you not find that absolutely hilarious?
It's great.
That's one of the weird things about having kids is that you do get put into circles of people you would never speak to in a million years.
Yeah, exactly.
Never speak to, and then you got to interact with them every fucking day.
Yeah. And it doesn't really last because all of a sudden they don't want to be around you.
Yeah, I've alienated so many fucking parents.
But it's cool, like, as you go through the years, right? Like, you kind of weed them out, and then you get like a core of like people that get it, that are funny, you know.
By the end, there's people who you can share. Like we went one time. I had come home after the store. I came in here and I ate some edibles, and I ate way too many, right? Way too many. And I thought I was going to die, but that's not the joke. But I woke up the next morning and it was our Christmas festival. And I sat down, and then you're right. You get that small knit group of friends,
a couple of them,
where they're like, "God, you smell like fucking alcohol," and you're like, and I'm like, I am still high on edibles. Where you can share that. Where if other parents heard that, they'd be like, "You are high at your child's school,"
right.
But these cool parents are like, "Yeah." And the song they did, Tom, was so funny because you couldn't just do Christmas songs because that would alienate Jewish kids. They did Christmas songs about Jewish things. So, you know, like right. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me.
Yeah.
They just went through they did it on the first day of Hanukkah, to try to mash it up.
Yeah.
And they just went through and listed things in a deli. And I could not stop laughing. I was crying. I was laughing so hard. Black and white cookie. It was so culturally insensitive.
Yeah.
But they were trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I was crying, fucking laughing.
I had this similar thing where it was a circle of parents kind of thing, and like just waiting for like pickup or something, and they said something. Someone said so and so just got back because they adopted a child. They adopted a child and such, but you know it might not work out. And I said, cool thing about adopted kids, you can always give them back. And they were one guy laughed, one guy was like, and the rest were just like, I'm sorry, what did you say? Like they're not even not laughing. They're literally think they heard it wrong. Like, what did you say?
I'm sorry, what
you know, you can give it back. Yeah. You don't have to keep those, right? Nothing.
Dude, I have so many stories about being a parent where I just did not give a fuck.
Right.
Where I just was like, we're going to play this like it's like I'm in high school. I remember we did they had a raffle for, I know I've told this story, but it's fitting for this. There was a wine tasting and they had a raffle. The whole goal was they wanted to buy new iPads for the kids, right?
Right.
And the iPad, I think it cost for whatever notebook thing was like $400 a pop. And so so they were trying to raise money in this raffle. They were going to raffle off 12 items.
Right.
And I got there and I showed up late and I went over to Darren Turbo, who was running the raffle. I said, how's the raffle looking? And he goes, oh, like shit. And I said, really? And he goes, yeah. Oh, we're not even going to get an iPad, I don't think. And I said, how much is in the pot? And he goes, $40. Like, all right, here's 400. And he was like, what? I said, I want to win everything. I was like, don't tell anyone. I want 400 tickets. Don't tell anyone. And they pulled off the fucking first thing. They're like, all right, we're going to do the raffle. It's a Pilates class. The winner is 875-430. And I'm like, that's me. And everyone's like, hey, I got a Pilates class. By the fifth prize that I won the first four. And everyone's like, what the fuck? And Darren Turbo was crying. He goes, he bought $400 worth of tickets. and I won 10 of the prizes. My wife won one prize with her winning ticket. And there was a dad who was visibly angry. And he was up front and he was like, this isn't fair. This isn't fair. He needs to give those back. Like, I put money in. And I was like, I remember going and I go, I walked up to him and I go, hey, what did you win? Knowing he didn't win anything. And he goes, nothing. You won it all. This isn't fair, man. This isn't fair. I go, it's a raffle. And he goes, yeah. I said, well, you should have put in more money. He goes, I have a budget. I looked at him, I go, fuck your budget. And he was like, what? I go, fuck your budget. I have a budget. I put my money in.
Yeah.
I go, you know. So then they changed the raffle rules at our school. Everyone can only buy one ticket, right? The next at our big carnival summer or whatever carnival.
Yeah.
They raffled off a flat screen TV and they only sold 35 tickets because no one wanted to buy $1.
God.
And so for $35 they got I ruined raffles at that school. Ruined fucking raffles.
It's so dumb.
One of my favorite things in the world is to go into a raffle and just buy a dickload of fucking tickets.
Yeah. Well, come on.
We went to the Special Olympics, had a raffle for this polar plunge thing we did one time. I was there for Travel Channel. And I said, what's the pot? And the guy goes, what do you mean? I said, how much is in? And he goes, well, I think it's $300. I said, I'll put in $400. He's like, wait, what? I said, I want to win. And I literally said to everyone, I'm going to win this raffle. Yeah. And when I win it, I'm going to be obnoxious. So get ready. And it was a 50-50 raffle where you split the pot. So I was just going to get my money back.
Right.
It was either get my money back or win nothing, right?
Yeah.
And I fucking won. I videotaped it. I put it on YouTube. I won this fucking raffle. And then I just gave them all the money. I was like, I can't take home any money. I go, I just wanted to win.
I've been asked to host some of very wealthy fundraiser things, like for major diseases or that kind of stuff. Like in the middle of New York, where they raise like $40 million in a night. I mean, like you can't even get close, with silent auction and all this stuff. And it's like the biggest money of Manhattan, in one night, like $40 million. And you realize, holy cow, there's so much money out there. And my sister has like this nonprofit in New Jersey where we're scraping and clawing to get like $5,000, like for her big fundraiser for the year kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you guys in the right circles, you could just huge money. Huge.
So I'd love to get a hold of some of that. Like I would love to be able to do something charitable, like in a big way.
Yeah. Where you get credit for it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I can't be. I'm
not going in anonymous.
By the way, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not the kind of dad that volunteers his time, and I'm not going in anonymous. I want credit. Yeah. No fucking.
I did a thing where over the holidays I was giving money to the people bagging at the supermarket.
Yeah.
They're working their ass off, and it's like I don't know who to donate to or whatever. So I started giving, $100 to the cashier on my way out, kind of to the bagger on the way out, kind of thing. And I did it like 4 or 5 times, and I was like so proud of myself in the beginning that I did it, and it never happens. It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And I felt so good about myself that I did it, but did it quietly, and no one knew until around the 4th person, and I couldn't keep it in, and I told my wife, and then I started telling everybody I couldn't do it for no credit. I had to let people know what a great person I was. It wasn't enough that I turned this person's month around. Yeah. I wanted everybody to say, "You're good, Tom. Good for you."
That's what I miss. We used to do the wait staff raffle everywhere, and I miss those were like so much fun.
Yeah,
where I would say at the end of my show, I go, "Hey, I'm gonna tell the machine story while I do. I'm going to pass around a bucket, throw in whatever money you have, a little extra money, and at the end, we're going to pull out one of the names, one of the servers, and that person will get the pot."
Oh, that's great.
And so we would do it, and inevitably, it would just we did one that went viral. This guy, I think his name's Kevin, and it was in Comedy Off Broadway, and I pull his name, and by the way, stereotypically, you always wanted a girl to win because girls could get more emotional.
Yeah,
you didn't want guys to win. You definitely didn't want black men to win because they wouldn't show they would always be like stoic, and they would try to be funny as opposed to being authentic.
Yeah.
Well, man, you cannot judge a book by its cover because Kevin came up and he started sobbing, crying, and I was like, whoa. By the way, I had my camera up videotaping my set, so I caught this on my camera and I edited it together. I go, man, you seem emotional. What's going on? And he's like, next weekend's my daughter's 13th birthday party. And I said, yeah. And he said, yeah, I didn't have enough money to buy her a present, let alone to buy her a present. Alexa, shut the fuck up. he goes, I didn't have enough money to buy her a present, let alone to throw her a party.
Uh-huh.
Now I get to throw her a party, and I can be the man she thinks I am. And I start crying. He's crying. The crowd's crying. They start running up and giving him hundreds and fucking 20s.
No way.
It was such a great moment.
Oh,
it
that's
was
so great.
Cool. But I loved being the guy.
You're right.
I never even put money in.
It really was because of you.
Yeah. I didn't even put money in.
But you got all the credit.
I got all the credit. Dude.
And great content.
Yeah, it was great content. I posted it in.
Yeah. Well, but you know what? That's no joke, though. I mean, that's why, you do feel good when you help people. And that's kind of like, if that makes you help people, then who cares?
Yeah.
Right?
I want to talk about your hour before you get out of here.
Yes.
But so tell me about the new special. And by the way, don't miss details. Tell me your favorite joke. Tell me the joke that was the hardest. Like because I when just getting done my hour, there's so many things I tried to do in it.
Yeah.
That I'm like proud of, where I go, I formed it a certain way. Yeah. Like I structured it a certain way.
Yeah.
I didn't want to lose viewers for a reason, and I wanted to keep them.
Right.
It's like, and so I'm fascinated by people and how they do their hours.
Yeah, it's kind of mine's kind of similar. This one is the first time where there was like a little bit of a mission to the set, which kind of just came as I was touring. It's called You're Doing Great, and I really just had this. In reaction to the anxiety that people were feeling over tour the last 2.5 years, people were feeling like, they weren't doing enough, and that they weren't making enough money, and that they weren't living up to this level of a life that they're seeing on social media, and then the media is telling them that everything's going to shit. And I just started telling people that you're doing great. This is what life is. Whatever you're doing, I guarantee you, if you're here, have a little money in your pocket, you can come to this silly ass show. Things are cool. You're all right.
Yeah.
You're doing great. And it came as a reaction to, as the set was evolving, and people were responding to it, and were coming up and saying, thanks for saying that. I've been feeling completely lost. And it was the first time that my set started to have like a theme to it, and started to have like this message to it. And I was like, I'm just going to hold on to it, because I'm optimistic by nature. And I know a lot of times comedy can be really kind of cynical, and we kind of point out that everything is shitty. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just stick to what I really believe. And that is that people are up against it. And you have to realize we're pretty lucky to be alive right now. We're lucky to be here. And despite what the news is telling you and making you feel, this is a pretty great time to be alive, if you, at every level, and we've all been there. And it's not to say that everybody's, walking around whistling, but this is what life is, kind of a thing. So does that make sense?
Makes 100% sense.
I'm kind of rambling a little.
No. I love that. I fucking love that.
Yeah. So I just wanted to let it be positive, and just be kind of this piece that I was proud of, that as an hour, as a thing. And I, when you get it and you do it, and then you start editing it and you're putting it together, you're peeling stuff out. It's kind of funny that any of the stuff that I cut was just naturally stuff that was meaner or was a little more cynical. It didn't fit with the rest of the special. It just wasn't as funny. The audience gets on board, and ultimately, You're Doing Great is kind of was the ultimate thing. I think I pulled it off.
That's great. It's so funny, because so much of comedy is not, I wouldn't say it's easier, but it's easier to take something down than to build something. Right. Yeah, exactly. And which I still kind of do. I mean, it's, it's so corny, but you watched Tom Hanks in the Mr. Rogers thing? Oh no, I thought you were going to say in the Golden Globes with Ricky Gervais, where he went. Yeah, no, and he did in The Neighborhood, when he plays Mr. Rogers, and it was like, there's such a lack of people like that in the culture that just want to
make you feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like a little bit of a, and you're very similar. Like, people come to your show, they leave, they've had an experience. It's
dude,
they're going to be better leaving than they came in. And I think we've been doing this a long time, and it's very easy to add to the pile-on of making people feel shitty.
Yeah.
And I just have this thing where I don't want to waste my time. Like, you've got your kids, you know that it's a limited amount of time that you're here, and it's a limited amount of energy that you have to put towards all this stuff. And I just really, truly feel like I don't want to do something if it's not worthwhile, and putting out something that I think is going to be positive for you to digest.
I had an epiphany. I said something on this podcast that I had a bit, and then I shared on the podcast, and it got a big response at one point. I thought it did, at least. And then I tried it out on stage a couple times, and this chick came up to me and was like, "Hey, I'm a huge fan." By the way, she didn't look my demographic at all.
Yeah,
like, I never thought she would be a fan of mine.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan, but just giving you a heads up, that joke makes me feel less than human. And I went, huh? So I'm just letting you know, like, because I don't think that's your intent, right? And I said, no, my intent is to make you laugh. She goes, well, I'm going to tell you what's really happening when you say it, though. And I went, oh, there's a lot of jokes where I didn't know the energy. I just thought the reaction was one thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it's getting a good pop. But sometimes the reaction was a lot of people going, oh, that's fucked up.
Right.
And I didn't know that. And I had an epiphany then where I thought, I don't ever want anyone to leave my show like bummed.
Yeah.
Like, that's not my, there's certain people, like, I really genuinely think Tom Segura at times feels like if he's not having a couple people walk out, he's not doing his job right.
Right.
Like, he enjoys that kind of pushing those boundaries.
Yeah.
And
that fits with his thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not my thing.
No, it's like,
I want everyone to go, I was a fun night.
Right. And it just doesn't fit you. Like, there was a couple times, when you're working jokes out, and I've had them too, where I really believe in it, but I'm saying, and my wife has said that, similar to what that fan said, like, this is how it's coming off, though.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, all right. And they say that to you because they know, like, the rest of your thing is Beatles songs, and then you went death metal for a second, and everyone was just like, "What's he? Wait,
yeah,
what's Paul McCartney doing right now?"
I had a joke that I did not realize. I had a joke about showering with my daughter. It was when she was 7 months old or something.
Yeah.
Or when you take a baby in the shower and give them a bath. I didn't realize that I was telling that joke. And my daughters were like fucking 6 and 5 or 5 and 7 at the time. And I was still telling that joke as if it was still happening today. And people would just be like, what the fuck? And I knew the story in my head was when she was a baby, but I wasn't telling anyone she was a baby.
Right.
And this woman came up to me and was like, hey man, number one, you got to stop showering with your fucking kids. And I was like, I don't shower with my kids. She goes, you just said you did. And I went, no. That was when she was a baby. She goes, that's not how it comes out. I went, oh my God. And I was like, here I've been going around talking about, I was like, motherfucker.
I just heard, I was listening to Lenny Bruce the other day because there's this cool thing. There's someone put an album out like right after he died about why he died and kind of the whole story of him, being ostracized in society and all this kind of stuff. And that led me into listening to another thing about him. And he, just in the telling of the stories, he was showering with his daughter. He didn't want her to feel ashamed or anything ever about our bodies. And, there's no ill intent. And he was his dad, and he showered with his daughter when she was 9 years old, and and they just kept going. And I was like, wait, what? I mean, that's a great lesson, I guess. If we could all be like Garden of Eden pure, but what? 9 years old?
9 years old seems a little old, Lenny.
Yeah. As I'm like, from the time they're 5, like running from the shower to my room with nobody see me.
Oh,
yeah. But I mean, look, it's so hard to talk about it in a way, like to say, like, I want it to be positive and stuff like that without it sounding kind of corny. But I just feel like, I want these things to be, they are special. They should be special,
Yeah.
at least to us at a point where you're making it. I want to be able to look back and be like, all right, this is my fourth one, and they should be getting better, and they should be be a little more meaningful and a little more. They should be better.
My whole thing in the special I just did was I wanted to prove that I'm a better comic today than I was when I saw my last one.
Right. That's a
it.
great goal.
Yeah,
Simple. Yeah.
Bill Burr was the one that pointed that out to me.
Yeah.
Like he just made it very clear where he said, and it was so silly because I won't name them now, but I could name comics whose specials are identical special to special.
Yeah.
To the point where you go, I think they're just swapping out punchlines.
Right.
Like they're doing the exact same. They haven't really grown at all.
Right.
Whereas I think especially as like the kind of comedians that we are allowed to grow.
Yeah.
We're allowed to grow in our own, the thing that we do, we're allowed to grow. Some joke, like straight up just like Dimitri Martin is a misdirection or a clever comedian. I think it's tougher for him to show growth.
Right.
No,
because you're talking about human things that are deep and that will kind of last. Like
you told a story one time. It's that I forget what it was. It was about dropping off your kids and looking at the other moms the hot moms or something. Right. But it was like what we do is so kind of experiential and it is storytelling. Although but so for someone like Dimitri, where it's set up punch, it's really hard for him to he's just got to write better than last year, and sometimes you write just as good as last year.
Yeah.
No knock on Dimitri whatsoever.
No, it's like Anthony. It's like there's like they're joke guys. There's Stephen Wright. It's like they actually like Stephen Wright matures because he's maturing, but his jokes it's still jokes. Yeah. We have a little more freedom in that department of we could write deeper things, like when Jim Brewer was writing about his father's death. I mean, you know what I mean? Like he has that latitude because he's not bound to like just doing joke.
Yeah.
Right. So in a way that it's just a different style, I guess. But yeah, I think that simple thing for all of us, Dimitri, Anthony, me, just get better. Try and get better. And I think if you're honest about it and you really, really, really care about it, it should be getting better.
It's funny too because we're at a place now where I believe, I was just saying to someone the other day, but comedy is now getting criticized so much, and there are people who make a living just taking apart comedy, and they make a living criticizing comedy. They're legit comedy critics,
right,
that write blogs, and there are guys that have web shows or like YouTube shows where they just criticize comedy. Right. And I actually welcome it because I think that is just proving how big comedy has gotten.
Yeah.
In that it's the same thing that athletes must have gone through their whole lives.
Yeah.
And it's guys that don't play the game.
Yeah.
That don't, like Stephen A. Smith, never really been an athlete in his life.
Right.
I mean, maybe he was. I think he played basketball or something. Criticizing Tom Brady, who's the greatest there ever was.
Right, exactly.
So it's the same in comedy.
I know.
People that don't.
And music. It was like watching the Grammys, watching like this Billie Eilish win all this stuff. And she even said, like, I know your fans are going to just hate on me for the end of time because you didn't win this. Like she said, like, Lizzo and all of your fans. And she almost said it with kind of glee. It was just like, this is kind of the world we live in where, other people are going to shit on me, but because my fans are going to go to the death for me. And it's like, and comedy has kind of reached that kind of a level where
it's crazy.
I mean, when we were younger watching the Grammys, they never announced the comedy album of the year. Never. And now it's like, it's a big part of the night. Chappelle wins all of them, but
he won the last three.
The last three.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah. And, but I mean, it is weird. Like I remember as a kid, like going into a record store and the comedy section was this big. It was this one little tiny thing in the back. Like nobody cared.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that I think it just has a bigger place for sure. But the audiences are so huge too now. It's like everybody thinks that like comedy is for them. So if you're a certain kind of person and someone's comedy doesn't hit you, well, it's not supposed to really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're looking for something to hit you as a young teen or something like that, well then Brian Regan might not be for you. You know what I mean? It's just kind of the way it goes. I guess.
played Mitch Hedberg for my daughters, and my oldest was like, "Is he on drugs?" I was like, "Well, yeah."
Yeah.
She's like, "So he's just like a druggie?" And I was like, "Well, no, he's."
Right.
She's like, "We just sound stoned," and I was like, "Well, yeah." She's like, "Is he still alive?" I said, "No, he actually died from a drug overdose." She goes, "So this is sad." I was like, "No, it's not sad at all." She goes, "No, it's really sad, Dad.
Wow.
The guy was on drugs. He sounds like he's on drugs, and no one helped him." And I was like, "Well, you're
wow,
you're really taking the fun out of this fucking joke."
She's a smart one.
About finger fucking to the national anthem, whatever his joke was. But my youngest daughter Isla was on the floor of the car, slid out of her chair laughing.
Really?
She was like, "This guy is hilarious."
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. And George is just so literal.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, it is such a subjective kind of thing. It always has been, but like you said, like for some reason, there's like it's a more important part of the culture now, like where people are spending a lot of time taking it very seriously.
Yeah, it's crazy. Someone had said to me the other day, they were like, so I said I have to go to work tonight. I don't want to work.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, that's right. You're a comedian." And I said, "Yeah." And they go, "So what job do you what do you do at night?" I said, "I do comedy." And they're like, "No, you said you have to go to work." I said, "Yeah, I do comedy." They go, "Oh, you get paid to do comedy?" And I was like, "Bitch, our kids go to the same school. Like,
right.
Who the fuck do you think's paying the bills? My wife doesn't have a job. What do you, like in my head, I was like, I wanted to go, "Oh, I make so much more money than you. You have no fucking idea." But I had to sit there and go, "Yeah, I make living." She's like, "And you can make like a good living doing that?" And I was like, "What fucking world do you live in?" It's like, yeah, some people are millionaires. Yeah.
It's so huge though. I mean, isn't it crazy? Like there are people that have no idea who like Russell Peters is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like it's really kind of bizarre how somebody could be so huge to some audience and have another part of the culture have no idea who he is.
Joe Coy sells out stadiums.
Yeah.
In the Philippines, in Dubai, in Omaha.
Yeah.
He filled an arena, I want to say in Omaha. In Stockton, he's doing like 7,000 tickets in a night.
Crazy.
And then you say to like my wife's friends, who are, by the way, Filipino.
Right.
Do you ever know heard of Joe Coy? Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, how the fuck?
How do you not?
How do you not?
I know.
And I wonder sometimes is that we're so in it.
Yeah.
That like we're aware of everyone.
Right. Exactly.
I'm always shocked when there's a comedian. Like when there's a comedian, this is going to sound very arrogant, but like there are some comics who don't know who comics are.
I know.
And I remember.
I know.
I'm always like, hang on. I know everyone that's a comic. Like
right.
I know.
Oh, and you always did.
I always did.
When you were a young comic, you knew everybody.
I knew everybody.
I know. There's a if you work the cellar,
yeah,
there's the Comedy Cellar, and then around the corner on 3rd by across from the Blue Note is where the Village Underground is and the Fat Black Pussycat, 2 other clubs that they have, right? So when you walk it, there's always a guy from a competing club on the corner with a clipboard trying to get people to those shows because it's not the cellar and they don't sell out. And every time you walk around the corner, they're like, you want to see like, there's certain comics and it's young comics that are with the clipboard. So they're either like, hey, free comedy. Oh, sorry, Bert. Yeah, have a good show. Or there's, hey, you want to come to a come on, man, where you going? And you're like, I'm Bert. You know what I mean? Haven't you ever, like, when you walked into clubs and there's like a young comic working the door and they're like, and you're headlining and they would be like, who are you, sir? Where are you? It is arrogant, but you should know you're a young comic.
I knew
it's important to know.
Fucking comic.
Yeah.
When I worked the door at the Boston Comedy Club, I knew everyone who did comedy.
Everyone.
I knew everyone.
At every level. Yeah, because you really loved it. You really cared.
I still know everyone. I mean, I feel like there's like obviously I don't know a lot of open micers, but like I know, like I always think this is really crazy. This is I've thought this thought a couple times when I go. I still believe that guys like Scott Aukerman or like I'm trying to think of another name that's like bigger. Like I was shocked when Patton Oswalt knew who I was.
Right.
I was shocked.
Uh-huh.
I walked in and I was like, "Hey man," he was like, "Hey Bert, I seem like I fucking see you on what was the app at the time every day."
Right.
And I mean, I feel like I was down on your Alabama vacation, and I was like, "You know who I am?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm a comedian. You're a comedian." Like,
Right,
and I went, "Oh God, oh my God!" Like,
Yeah.
but I wonder if Dave Chappelle knows who I am or Scott Aukerman, because I would assume they just don't.
They do.
Like, Scott Aukerman may not.
No, Scott's a comedy guy. He knows comedy.
You think?
Yeah.
Like, because I know who he is.
Yeah.
But he just seems at a level of like,
I know. We always have that kind of feeling.
like I would be shocked
I know.
if Dave Chappelle knew who I was.
I had two things. I got a compliment online after doing a set. It was 5 years ago or something. A compliment from Tim Heidecker from Tim and Eric, who was in the audience and said something really nice to me on social media. And Patton did the same thing. And I have been doing this a long time, but to know that those two, in my mind, super cool, very picky comedy geniuses had said something about, I was just like, I was so elated. You know what I mean? Like I was so happy. You don't think that people ever notice you. You think, especially the cool ones like that. And I was like,
oh my God.
Tim and Eric think I'm funny. I was like telling my kids. You know what I mean?
That's a huge compliment.
Huge. But you always walk around feeling like, well, no, but then you walk around the pizza place and they're like, Tom, they have no idea you're Tom. And, and they're trying to get you to buy a ticket at this shitty comedy club.
So funny. I followed Jerry Seinfeld when he was at the store. When he went back, I guess, to the first time at the store. And he pronounced my name correctly. And I went, I don't think he knows who I am. And by the way, I think it would be better if he did not know who I was, because I think that he would not enjoy my act.
I bet he knows too. See, that's the thing. Seinfeld, Patton, like these people are comedy people.
Yeah.
And I kind of noticed that about him, is like very keenly aware of who's doing what.
Really?
Oh, still. It's not like they're in a bubble. They're like, they're a part of it. You know what I mean? I almost feel like you can't, that's probably a lesson to be learned, that you shouldn't ever let that go. Like if you want to be a relevant part of the community, you should always be that same thing that you were when you were 19 or 20, you know, like thinking of learning about everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet he knows you.
He said my name correctly. And then I was like, I was curious. I would have loved to have had a camera, because when I take my shirt off, it's a really big response.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Put your hands together, very funny guy, Bert Kreischer." And I come out, I go, "Hey, great set." And he was like, "Oh, thanks, whatever." And then walked off. And then I went out and ripped my shirt off, and the place fucking exploded. I would have loved to have seen him go, "What the fuck did he just do?" Because I'm in my head, I'm like, I know he doesn't know that I take my shirt off. But then he walked around the corner. I'm sure he's certain he saw me with my shirt off and was like, "Okay, let's get the car started." I literally did old material, Tom. I was so embarrassed. I did old material. Like I wanted to do well while I knew he was at least crossing through the room.
Of course.
And then I stopped and I go, "He's out of the room, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "He walked straight out." And I went, "All right, let's work on the new stuff."
Asked?
Oh yeah, I asked the audience. I said, he's gone, right?" And they're like, "Yeah, he walked straight through the room." I was like, "Oh, thank God." Yeah.
It all means so much, doesn't it? Because you care about it. You care about what you do. So, and then you care about those people. So it's like, you know, you want. Yeah, it's also important.
Well, I got to get you out of here. We've been going for, I think, 2 hours.
We did?
Yeah. The special's out. It drops Tuesday?
February 4th.
Is that Tuesday?
Tuesday, February 4th.
Are they all on Tuesday now?
Yeah, I think so.
Good.
Yeah, they all come out on Tuesdays, right after the Super Bowl.
Oh.
Bum, 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 bum. So if you're, all right, you're Bert Kreischer.
Yes.
But you're Tom Papa.
Yes.
And you are sitting there on Super Bowl
so
Sunday.
Funny. That's so funny you said that. That's so funny you said that. The second you said it comes out of the Super Bowl, my marketing brain clicked over and I went, okay.
Yeah. What do you do on social media?
A rejected Super Bowl commercial that stars you. That you go, "Hey guys, it's Tom Papa. Listen, Netflix was supposed to air this commercial during the Super Bowl and it got pulled at the last minute. I'm not certain why. I'm just going to show it to you now." And then you drop that Monday.
Drop it Monday or Sunday during the Super Bowl.
I would drop it. I think Monday's the day when they start talking about all the commercials, right?
Yeah, probably.
I would do it. You can do it Monday or Sunday, but I would do a rejected and make it clearly rejecting. Like,
that's great. First of all, this is brilliant, and that you came up with it so fast is
immediately
crazy. But that's a big thing. When do you do it? Would you do it on the Super Bowl night, or would you try and get the hit on Monday? Monday, everyone's talking about it. That's like post Grammys, post Oscars. But Super Bowl has a big, right? Everyone's online doing. I'm just throwing it out there.
I don't know. You could do it. You run the risk of what goes viral Super Bowl Sunday is the big Super Bowl commercial.
Right.
If you drop it Monday and you go, guys, I am super bummed. I would promote it. I would promote it. Hey guys,
tomorrow,
make sure all throughout the Super Bowl. Hey guys, if you see my Netflix commercial for my special, please tag me. Please share it with your friends. I'm so excited. And then play into it. Be like halfway through the Super Bowl, going, it must be coming up at halftime. And then at the end of the Super Bowl, go, I'm really upset, really heartbroken that they decided not to post my commercial. Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna see if I can get the footage and post it Monday. And then do a fucking, guys, I feel so embarrassed. I just want you to watch this commercial, and then make the funniest non-airable commercial that, like, clearly they would never have aired it.
I'm going to do exactly everything you just said.
That's because I think that would be so funny.
Really.
Because everyone would be like, oh my God. And be like, guys, I'm super excited. Just do a post Sunday morning on your Instagram. I'm super excited.
Look for my Super Bowl special.
My Super Bowl's commercial. They're promoting my special. Netflix has bought like prime airtime. It's 30 seconds. If you guys can grab it, if you see it, tag me.
I love coming into the third quarter and being like, whoa, really thought it'd be during halftime, but
guys, there's only 2 minutes left in the game. I'm being serious, and then get it trending where like people are like, they were like, has anyone seen, guys, did I miss it?
Hashtag Papa Super Bowl commercial.
And then Monday morning go, wow, that was crazy. But what's gotta be great.
Wow, that was really disappointing. But at least I own the footage.
I'm airing it Monday. That would be so. But the key is,
oh God,
the key is a really, like, you got to find something. You got to shoot a commercial that is clearly unairable, like clearly just breaks every fucking rule.
Yeah, that's the trick though. Because you don't want to be too. I don't want to be too offensive.
No, but you just got to find the right angle where you go, oh,
yeah.
Like it's clearly it's a joke.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, or I'm totally naked.
Naked.
Yeah. All right, I'll give it some thought, but I'll
think about it too. I'll think about it too and text you.
Yeah,
because now, see, this is the part I tried to explain to somebody. This is the part I love. I know. Just my brain is chewing on it and going, because there's no bad idea, and you just go, a workout. Is he working out with kettlebells? Right. Is it him doing all the stuff Rogan does? No, it can't be that. Is it you boxing? Because Stephen A. Smith just had that video that went viral of him boxing. It shouldn't be that. I keep going back to a big bowl of Doritos with Doritos and Tostitos and Budweiser and all the brands around you. Right. Or I'm trying to think of like
every single brand.
Yeah. The this Tuesday. Get like the name.
Yeah. You're doing great.
You're doing great. But like I this is my favorite part, and I think it's so funny because
I know
I've been trying to think of, I wanted to shoot a video. I'll see how my video just did that I posted. I just shot a video I wanted to do one to promote the relaunch of the tour, because I have a second show in Burlington. I have some tickets left in San Jose.
Right.
So I like to promote, highlight those.
Yeah. No, you are good at it. You jump on it. That's what I said in the beginning. Like it's such a I don't know. I mean, you just have, it's such a natural thing your act and your persona, and you know what I mean? Like I'm always squirreling away writing. Like I'm in the middle of my book right now, like my second book, and that's such an insular, you dive into it.
I can't do that.
It's not
I
out
can't.
here.
I have a hard time with writing a book. I have found that if I turn the camera on, I'll end up getting something.
Right.
Like I'll end up workshopping it into something silly and going, okay, this is the joke. This is
right. Do you edit your stuff, or is
I
it
edit all my stuff?
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing you're very good at, because it always seems so, it just seems like you just captured it.
No, yeah, I edit it all, and trying to think of one recently that we've done that I go, oh, I'm so glad I just started shooting that, because in just shooting that we got something. Trying to think. Oh, you know what's been really not to tip the hat of too many secrets. You know what's been really good for me? Like I just did this thing, and it's the same thing of if you just turn on the camera, it starts happening.
Yeah.
This girl, Emily Sears is her name, I guess. She blocked me on Twitter. I don't know why, and not that I really care, but like it was just odd. Cause I'm friends with one of her friends, and so I was reading her friend's timeline, and then they said this tweet will not come up. And I went, ooh, did she get in beef with someone? And so I clicked the tweet, and it said, no, you're blocked by Emily Sears. And I was like, that's so funny. And so I just fucking around. I was like, wonder why I'm blocked. Like, I wish they had like a time, it goes to writing a joke. You just try to write a joke about it. I go, I wish they had a timestamp of when you got blocked so you could figure out what you did.
Right.
And then I was like, that's crazy. And then I tweeted that, and they're like, oh, someone wrote, oh, that's okay. ... blocked me. And then I was like, oh, this is a fun game.
Right.
I go, who's the most famous person that blocked you? And so I put Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons blocked me because I called him a cunt on Rogan's show, and I don't like him. And so I posted that, and then that went fucking huge for me.
Really?
Went so big, and then BuzzFeed wrote an article about it, about who the most like people
famous
sharing. Because I retweeted a lot of people, and like if it was my friend, like Dalia blocked someone, and I go, I side with Dalia. I'm sure you were an asshole.
Right.
Like it was my friend, but. And just wrote jokes about it. You know what? Really, I've been posting like pictures. Like I posted myself in this outfit, and I was like, I look like. And those replies really kept traction. But I don't know. That's what I've been doing a lot of that.
Do you
lately.
reply to the replies?
I don't read comments.
You don't?
On Instagram, I do not read comments on Instagram because they're all Bert's fat, Bert's racist, Bert's. It's all
really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's a joke Tom has, is that to call me racist.
Oh, really?
And so, I don't find it funny, and so. Because you end up having to defend it in real life. People are like, they say you're racist online. You're like, I'm not. It's a joke. And they're like, I don't see the humor. I go, I don't see the humor either.
Thanks, Tom.
But
that's
but yeah,
funny.
if you just start, I'm trying to think, like if you just start shooting it, it shows up, and then something funny will happen. Like I'm trying to think of an exact example.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to.
But does most of that stuff go in your story rather than your
I shoot a lot
feed?
more stories than in my feed.
Yeah.
A lot.
Like the feed is like, this is something that is a little more special.
Yeah, a little. I've edited it. I put some music to it.
Right.
I love having good music to it. Like one of my favorite promo videos I ever did was just so silly. It was my daughter operating a drone, me holding an American flag, my other daughter having a leaf blower so the American flag was blowing, and my wife spraying misting water on me, and and it just played Rambling Man by Bob Seger, and the drone just pulled back slowly, and I didn't mean for it to, but it just revealed my wife and daughter doing their activities, which
I
was
remember that.
so much funnier.
Weren't you in the pool or something?
No, I was in the front yard.
Oh, in the front yard.
At the very front of our house, which is super recognizable.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And so, but like I sometimes if you turn the camera on, those will just happen.
Right.
Or like
that's funny.
Or like just turning a camera on and doing a read, and then have your kids in the background, and they will fuck it up somehow,
right?
And it makes it funnier.
Do they like being in your stuff?
I don't know.
I don't use them at all.
Yeah,
and my 14-year-old wants to be in them very badly.
Oh, you got to do one with her.
Yeah, yeah, she really wants to. Yeah,
I can't stop thinking about what your Super Bowl commercial should be.
I know. Yeah, you really have a marketing mind.
Greatest.
Me.
It's. It's so unlike you, and this is probably the wrong idea, but the right direction.
Yeah.
But the wrong idea is this Tuesday, Tom Papa puts all comedians in their place. Dave Chappelle can suck my dick. He is the best man out there, and he will prove it. Jerry Seinfeld's fucking just like and just trashing. Like clearly, they would never do a commercial where they just destroyed all the comedians.
Segura, I don't get it.
I don't get it. When he sees my special, he's gonna bow to the king like Jon Snow.
That's pretty funny.
It's just totally not like just something that they would. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll be thinking about it all day.
Right. Oh, this is good. You should. I want to hire you to do my marketing.
I can do that so much easier sometimes for other people.
I know.
Where I go like,
right where you see.
What was what was the one I had for Tom? I had the best one. My best one ever was for Joe. I wanted Joe to do this, and he just didn't have the time. I don't think he had the time. I also don't think he liked the idea.
No.
But I wanted to do. I said, "Can I please come to your house and shoot a promo for your special?" It was right when Hannah Gadsby had blown up, and I said,
no.
"I just want to recreate her intro to her special of you unlocking the door. Your dog jumps up. You make a kale shake instead of a cup of tea.
Right.
And then you turn to the camera and you go, my name's Joe Rogan, and I'm quitting comedy after this special. Unless, of course, it does well, in which case I'll just be going to bigger venues.
Right.
Enjoy. But like I can do it better, easier for other people sometimes. Sometimes I sit and get in my own head about.
Yeah, I know. It isn't weird. It's weird how you can see other people so clearly. Like I could see like a friend of mine and be like, oh, you're totally this guy. And they're like, what? Who am I? And like for yourself, you can't see what other people are thinking that as clearly.
Yeah,
but in social media, it kind of lets you create that.
Yeah.
Be my marketer.
I would love to just, I mean, I guess I wouldn't love it, but I would love to just have a marketing firm for comics where like comics, I had like a group of comics that I just worked for, and then they just came into the office and like, hey, we're here to shoot something today. And you're like, great. And then you like you have your team where you just kick around ideas.
Yeah. Oh my
God. I would
God.
love that. I would have so much fun making those videos.
I know you would.
I love trailers. I love, I can watch trailers all fucking day. I like trailers more than I like movies.
Yeah. That's funny to do it like a trailer.
Yeah. Shoot, I'll be thinking about Jerry Seinfeld's a boop. Hannah who?
What's wrong with white men?
I'm Tom Boop Papa, and everyone else can suck my boop. You want to see privilege? I'll show you privilege.
Just after me pontificating about my positivity.
What does this have to do with my special? Nothing at all. Oh,
it's funny.
Super
I like the
Bowl
timing of it, though. I like that whole idea of that part's really funny because it gives me something to post all during the Super Bowl. Hey, guys, I thought it was going to be at the beginning, but halftime, it's got to be halftime.
I will tweet along with that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
That'll be so much fun.
Yeah.
That'll be so much fun. Yeah, make an event out of it. That's so great. My special, will you bleep this out? My special drops.
Oh, cool.
Bleep this out too.
Right.
So,
right.
They came to me and told me that day when I shot, when the night I was shooting my special, they're like, what do you think if we dropped yours then? And I went, that's only my favorite time ever.
Yeah.
Maybe you may need to take all of that out because I don't know when we can announce that.
Right.
But you may need to take this out too. Coming up with the idea is almost, it's actually probably more fun than even executing the idea. I love coming up with the ideas.
Right.
And I think it's why I love this part of this tour is like the writing of it. Like when you're starting from scratch, you got to build a new hour. I love writing an hour way more than I do performing an hour.
Right.
Like I hate when towards the end of the tour, when you're just fine tuning it, I'm like,
and it's locked in.
Yeah. And I get bored with it. I go, come on, man, let's just write something new.
Because you're not creating anymore. You're just performing.
That's why I was like, I don't even know. I think I'm going to do something. I'm doing this crazy run in, I think September. fucking Singapore, Hong Kong, Bangkok, like all the way around the world that way.
Whoa.
Ending in Moscow. You
Wow.
can keep that in. I don't really care. But
wow.
And so I'm thinking about shooting a series with that.
Yeah.
Or shooting a special throughout there.
Right.
But making it okay and sloppy and letting it,
yeah.
you know.
That would be a cool road
and
thing.
just have fun.
Because you've never seen one going through that area.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
But
that's really good.
Yeah. I wish I had more.
I'm gonna keep picking your brain.
Please.
You're too valuable.
Yeah. You're so you're one of the best out there.
Thanks, man.
You legit are like everyone's favorite comic. And so I'm dude, it's an honor that I get to hang out with you in my man cave for a couple hours and do a podcast.
This is so great. We've been talking about this forever.
Oh, I could. By the way, I don't even know if my podcast is good. I know it's what I like talking about and listening to. I just hope the people that like it too. Like my buddy Dan Adler called and he was like, sometimes your podcast is really inside baseball.
yeah.
I was talking. I did a podcast last week with Steve Trevino where we talked about ticket prices.
Right.
He talked ad nauseum for like 30 minutes about $20 tickets versus $35 tickets versus papered room. Like it was like, I'm like, what the fuck? Does anyone listen to this and go, hey man, we don't sell tickets?
Right. I think they like hearing it.
Oh,
I think it's good.
Well, hey, congratulations, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for helping spread the word.
And obviously, I'll post whatever you want me to post on Tuesday to help.
Yeah, for sure. Numbers. Go like all my Instagrams.
I will. I'll share them.
Does that help if you like a clip, then more people like the clip?
I think if you get big people to like clips, it goes into like bigger timelines.
Oh yeah.
And then it starts going where people can find it easier.
Oh.
So yeah, that's why I'm always like people's clips.
All right, go like mine and see. Let's see what happens.
I can't wait for your Super Bowl commercial.
I can't either. I can't wait for you to finish.
I'm going to start the.
I can't wait for you to finish the idea.
Let's start the trend now, and I'll just be like, we're doing the podcast, but I'll post this, and then people now will hear,
right,
but they will have seen it and gone, oh shit, that's how he did it. They won't know,
right,
yet.
Well, is this going to drop after?
This will drop on the day your special drops.
Right. Okay.
That evening.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, this is fucking crazy. This man right here.
Hey, everybody.
Not only has a Netflix special dropping next Tuesday, but more importantly, and this is crazy.
Yeah.
But this is the way he has a Super Bowl commercial that Netflix is airing.
Whew. It's a big deal.
What's that? It's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a really big deal.
So make sure to watch Super Bowl and see the commercial for his Netflix special. You're doing
great.
Airing during the Super Bowl. Congratulations, Tom.
Thanks, man. Crazy, right?
Thanks, Bert. I'm already having fun. I love you, brother. Thank you.
I love you too.